And like parish churches, we have spiritual care for them, whether or not they ever come into this church. We do funerals, we do weddings. I counsel them, other members of the church counsel. We talk to people, we care for people, we go out to their functions and everything else. Because they are part of our church, whether they ever come into church or not. So this is where we stand. And when it comes time for the collection, Trent will be coming up here, and he'll just talk to you very briefly about the actual mechanics of filling out your pledge. And then we'll have some time where I will probably ask the lovely Russ if he can tinkle on the piano forte. That means something different here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, play lightly on the piano, that's what I mean. We don't want any scenes. UCC will certainly up the rent after that. But if you can spend this Eucharistic time, this communion which we're coming to presently, to really think deeply about this pledge. Because there's no point in saying you'll give something which you can't give. So we want them to be realistic. We would ideally like them written down. If you really, really want to keep it secret, you can do, but the trouble for us is that when it comes to budget setting, that doesn't help us with the budget. So this is what we're going to ask you, that you dig deep in your heart and think about what feels good, not what is painful in giving. You know, Charlene always used to say when she came up here to do the offering, give until it feels good. Give until it feels good. Because it's not all money. If people stop giving their time, church stops tomorrow, pretty much. Well, actually, no, we go back to what it was 2 years ago.
Come on.
We go back to what it doesn't happen by magic. It happens because of your faithfulness.
Amen.
On week on week.
Amen.
So, I'd just like to finish by sharing with you something that Lanny told me. It's a shame he's not here today. But Lanny, who's a real character, if you know him, Dr. Langston Goldfinch, was telling me about the Wednesday theology group that we have, and how he brought several people to that theology group and to church. And I knew he brought people, but I didn't know what background they came from. And he admitted that he brought friends of his who were from a generally very conservative background. Because he said he was a major player in the civil rights movement back in the 50s and 60s. And he said, with the civil rights movement, I knew what to do. It was obvious what to do. But with this whole business of LGBT equality, I often don't know what to do. Well, I was able to bring them to this church. And after being amongst you, and after being in the theology group and in our worship, they came to me, every one of them, and said that they had been changed by it. And one of them was a Baptist minister from Claiborne who is affiliated with the Gentilly Baptist Seminary. And for him to come away from, and he came for about 6 or 7 sessions, for him to come away with that, saying that he has to think.
Amen.
He has to look again into his heart. He has to think deeply. As far as I'm concerned, that's all we've done him to.
Come on.
Amen.
Amen.